Hello, my absolutely beautiful Gemini friends. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your horoscope for October of 2022. And Geminis, I want to tell you right out of the gate, this is going to be a little bit longer video. We've got a lot to unpack. October is a busy, powerful, moving month. Not only do we have the next eclipse that is happening this month, we have got Mars stepping into retrograde, but we've also got like back to back every week a planet coming out of retrograde. So this is a powerful month. But before we get into all of that, I just want you to know, whether you're watching me on video, listening to the audio, we're going to be together just a little bit longer, because if I try to deliver everything I've got faster, every single one of you is going to be like, Stormie, slow down. Don't talk that fast. So we're just not even going to get into that bag of beans. We are sure not going to do that. All right, friends, let's jump in here. Now, the first thing I do want to bring your attention to as we are traveling in October, right out of the gate, Mars is slowed down to prepare for this retrograde. It has been in pre-retrograde shadow since September. Now, it does not take this retrograde until the end of this month, but I want you to keep in mind here at the beginning of the month that Mars is our hustle and go, how we get it done, our energy, our fire, our enthusiasm, and it is slowed down. So this is the signal, Gemini, that the hustle and bustle, the get it, go after it, pain is weakness leaving the body, that's not for you. That's not for you, okay? A slower, more deliberate pace, that is Gemini. This is your sign. You are literally slowing down to reassess your practice, what you're doing, how you're doing things, how are you getting it done? Do you really desire that, right? So there is a little bit of slow your roll that I want you to be mindful of, please, even as we're at the beginning of traveling with this month, okay? Now, good news, right, as we're coming into this month as well, on the 2nd, we've got Mercury, your ruling planet, coming out of retrograde. And not only is it coming out of retrograde, but it's coming out of retrograde at 24 degrees of Virgo, which means it's in the other sign that it rules. So it's in domicile. So even though, Gemini, that is not your sign, your ruling planet is in a state of comfort. So for you, this may also be much more comfortable energy for you as well. Now, you may feel a little bit foggy about decisions, or things may come in slowly, decisions that you were making August 20th, around about that time. You may see things start to come and they feel like they're trickling. And that's because we need to leave the post-retrograde shadow time. On the 10th, we will see Mercury slide back into the energy of Libra, but it officially leaves that post-retrograde shadow time on the 16th. So take and make note of that, okay? But on the 2nd, Mercury's coming out of retrograde at 24 degrees of Virgo. So locate that on your chart, please. Now, also though, something to consider about this is that this lights up your 4th house space, home, family, real estate, property, your parents, foundations in your life, things that are foundational, right? And you have been and are still in a retrograde vibration even as Mercury moves forward. So what are you reviewing? What's coming up for you around family, around your mom, around you as a mom, around any of these foundational level areas in your life? Now, one of the other big things I think of for you, Gemini, is what has changed in your internal psychological beliefs, right? Retrograde is a fantastic time to do some shedding. And this year with Taurus and Scorpio axes working their eyeballs off, it has been a fantastic time to do shedding. So what do you feel like has been released and gained that you're able to come at things in your life? Your thinking is different and therefore your vibration is different, right? Like, what does that look like for you? Let me know that in the comments down below. But Mercury and Virgo is still a great time to make the priorities and get organized in your home life where you need to. And that counts for your business as well, okay? On the 8th, we've got Pluto coming out of retrograde, coming direct in the energy of Capricorn at 26 degrees of Capricorn. So flashback to April 29th for me, and this is when Pluto went retrograde at 28 degrees of Capricorn, okay? So it's hovering right here at those end degrees of that earth sign, but we're backed up now just a little bit to this 26 degrees, and this has been playing destroying, reviving, giving an opportunity for you to phoenix, to burn down in the ashes only to rise in your 8th house. The first thing I talk about in the 8th house is intimacy. You see into me, right? So sex, intimate relationships in your life, but also things that have to do with finances, joint resources, where you have resources. And I also consider energy and time a fantastic resource for us to be considering attached to another source. We've got some stuff going on over here as well in your home and family zone, Gemini. So has there been a change with something in your parental dynamic, and maybe you have a change of energy there in some way? Whatever it is, Pluto is now ready to move forward, move in its direct path. So something also about you in this area has been transformed. Something has died off. The structure didn't work there, and now you can be ready to move that forward anew. On the 9th, we've got a full moon happening at 16 degrees of Aries. Now, the full moon asks us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make some kind of adjustment. And there's all of the light in the sky that's available because we're at a full moon. But it does mean that the sun and the moon are moving in opposing ways. So as the sun is here in your 11th house energy, the moon is here in your 11th house energy, means the sun is over in your 5th house energy. So in this dynamic of me and we, the groups and the individual, right? Where have you seen that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted? 11th house, I think of things like astrology, friends, social groupings, tribes, organizations, technology, programs, but also your aspirations and how you're going about achieving and being known for those aspirations. What is changing for you in this me and we vibration that is available here? One of the things I really like you to take a look at under this particular full moon, Gemini, is where you are owning your own autonomy. Where are you doing you, being you at the grouping level? Now, this particular moon is also in conversation with this Mars-Neptune that's happening. But remember, Mars is also slowing down for retrograde. Neptune is retrograde. So there's something here that gives me this signature of, again, there's kind of a trickle of the next opportunity coming in. Like maybe you made some connections or reconnected with people at that new moon that happened in Libra, and now some new opportunities are starting to come forward, but it's very, very slow, and you really have to own how you do what you do, why you do what you do. Are you aligned in the right place for your particular energy? And truly, the full moon can show you there are some people that don't belong in my tribe and my circle anymore, or I don't belong in theirs anymore as well. When we get to the 10th, Mercury slides back into the energy of Libra, so we are feeling a little bit of forward motion happening, right? But still, it's in the retrograde degree zone, so we're not all the way there. But as Mercury comes back to Libra, what were you working on before, right? Think back. What were you working on as Mercury first moved into the energy of Libra? So August 25th. Okay, and this would have been in your 5th house. So children, joy, joy, taking a risk, play, conception. Did you conceive? Did you begin something? Whether it be a child, an adoption, a stepchild, a business. What was going on in the area of joy? Now, Gemini, again, there's this signature for me with you guys this month around something around the family. So the 5th house represents you as a child, right? So what's going on for you as a child that maybe is taking an adjustment, or you're having to go back into your familial relationships, or maybe there's a child, or I don't love this. I'm going to just say this. I know this is not popular opinion, but pets typically live in the 6th house. Larger pets live in the 12th. We've got this concept going on now in the world of being like a plant mom or a dog mom, or like putting that title there. So in that way, it makes me say maybe you also need to reconsider your relationship with that which you care for or that which you feel like you parent. So whether that's a business, a dog, your actual parents parenting you parenting children, I want you to keep your scope a little bit wide here and take a look around at where you're going back over commitments or relationships as Mercury moves here. On the 23rd now, we're going to see Saturn moving direct at 18 degrees of Aquarius. We saw Saturn go retrograde June 4th at 25 degrees of Aquarius. So what was going on for you there? What were you working on? Maybe you were trying, because remember, Saturn is trying to take you to the next level. It's saying, let's rise up. Let's create maturity and opportunity and achievement and legacy here. And if you don't have the structure to do that, it can feel heavy. It can feel like doubt. It can feel like this is not an emergence for me, Stormie Grace. This is an emergency, right? We can see that happening. Dennis Tarnas just did a fantastic talk on that. So these can be themes that you saw, but now as Saturn is retrograde, it also means in a social way, since Saturn is one of the social planets, the world is kind of opening back up and it's matured. We've got a different attitude. Now, I don't want to say the C word because we've had just about enough of that, but I don't know about you guys, but in my area in Colorado, which is pretty conservative, we have a lot less fear around the C word around here. People and businesses and companies and organizations are starting to treat it more like it's normal, not like it's new. So we think Saturn in Aquarius, right? We have to mature, we have to evolve, we have to come to the next level of understanding. So instead of being shut down every 5 minutes, now we're learning how to navigate that. So that's one of these things to be thinking of. Now for you, this is in the 9th house, publishing, marketing, broadcasting. So even as you look back, where do you feel like you had less training, less clients, less expansion, less knowledge, less faith, less of a belief, and now your structures are better and you really have something to offer now? You've even seen the change happen in your own life. I will say too, with Saturn moving out of retrograde in your 9th house, if there were court cases, immigration, anything like that that was delayed, you may start to see things moving forward. But I also agree with several astrologers that because Mars is going retrograde, this might not be the best time for you to launch a new court case if you don't have to, if it's not really emergent or anything like that, because it's not always in favor when Mars is retrograde for you to be the victor of war. Okay, so I want you to just kind of keep that in mind. But if something's been in play, roll with it. But this means that we've got planets just ticking the box coming out of retrograde. So you may also be starting to feel a little relief at this time of the month, okay? Then on the 16th, we see Mercury leave that post-retrograde shadow time. 23rd, busy day. Venus moves into the energy of Scorpio. The sun moves into the energy of Scorpio. And all of that lights up your 6th house space. So daily routines, schedules, your health, mental health, and wellness, right? It's going to dig into, like, this is where we traditionally put the cats and the dogs and the pets, but being of service to other people, maybe caretaking for someone, right? This is also the place where you have to go see the people who do a job that doesn't necessarily make you like them. Think about that, okay? Like, let that sit with you for a minute. So one of the places I think of are people who work for the IRS, people who work for TSA, right? Like, we got to do it, but they're not our favorite people. Even though they're not bad people, we just don't love the interaction. So you can start to see that things like this are starting to come to your table. Other things I think are fantastic for you in this 6th house zone is, one, it helps you research and get down to causes and conditions. If you've got a daily routine in your life where you're like, I am just not happy here, or I need to kind of repurpose my content or like move some things around, let a rebirth, Scorpio, a reformation come to the table, this is the time to do it. Keeping in mind that one ruling planet, Pluto, has come out of retrograde, so you're seeing it. You understand the intimacy and the depth behind what you're changing in some way, but you also are not going to be able to bang it forward. Mars is heading into retrograde. So whatever this changing and reorganizing and moving around and rebirthing is for you in the 6th house area, in the end, your health is going to get different or look different. Your daily routine gets to be different as well. And hopefully it's more in this Phoenix fashion, but dealing with your life on a superficial basis is not gonna work, or dealing with other people's lives, right? Maybe you're helping them get a healthier daily routine. The superficial level is not it. One of the other things, this is coming to me to say to you, should this be a situation in your life, should this be the cycle in your life where you're needing to care for a parent or you're caring for someone, it can be a lot more scorpionic. And these are the places where we talk about, we're caring for adults who can't go to the bathroom on their own, some of the very scorpionic things, and we're in the midst of helping them. And that creates a transformational relationship for both human beings, because the vulnerability that is put into that is something so sacred. So if this is the way Scorpio presents for you, I just want you to know that it's the cycle of life, but there is amazing regeneration of human connection and spirit available in these services as well. Okay, that was so much. On the 25th, we've got the new moon solar eclipse at 2 degrees of Scorpio, lighting up again your 6th house space. So this is telling me, this is again, in addition to this signal that we've really been working on, since November, but I like to flash you back to 19 years ago, Gemini. What were you working on? What were you needing to surrender in the area of your daily routine? Or was someone sick? Or were you getting your money together? What was the scorpionic thing that you were needing to have a rearrangement of what you valued, what gave you drive, what had depth for you, right? Because this is the Taurus and Scorpio axis. What do I value? What are my vulnerabilities, right? So over this last year, we've really had the opportunity to do a lot of work in this particular arena. And fundamentally, you are restored, you are changed, you are different in this area, and you've got something to offer. Okay, on the 28th, we see Jupiter sliding back into the energy of Pisces. You see all of this movement we've got going this month. This is a movable month, right? So it means it's powerful, even though, you got to get your core together. You know how you stand on those wiggle board things and you have to, balance your feet? That's this month. Okay, so get your core to level. Suck the belly button to the spine. Lift your core, head to the sky, and then you'll be able to balance out just fine. Jupiter moves back into the energy of Pisces, so back to the tip top of your chart. You did a good year worth of work here with this Pisces, Jupiter and Pisces energy, and you made a nice stamp that will guide your life for the next 12 years. So as Jupiter slides back here, where have you found more compassion for your parents, for authority figures, for ideas that you thought were the answer, for money, for prestige, for power, for management, for work? Where have you found a different level of compassion and spiritual alignment that is ultimately really changing for you? That's really a big thing I'm questioning for you, is where you've come into a different spiritual alignment with how you work, where you work, when you work, the energy that comes into it, and also where do you understand that if you are doing work in the world, or you are the mom of the house, or you are the whatever of the house, that the 10th house is also about the title we call you, and that it's a big deal. I love the movie The Crow, and I think that it was said best in there. Regardless of what you believe, the sentiment is the same. But he says, mother is the name of God on the lips of children. And now, whether you believe in God or you call it something else or whatever your deal is, the sentiment here is that there is power in the name that we are called. So I am interested to know where your spiritual alignment and your ideals have shifted to where you're owning this, and you go from being the sage on the stage to the guide on the side. You're like, I'm here to serve, actually, right? So let me know in the comment section down below, Gemini, how that is playing out for you. 25th, we see Mercury now entering into the energy of Scorpio. It has moved forward, living its best life, whipping your hair back because Mercury's ready to go. It's been in retrograde. So here in your 6th house, you'll be able to make decisions. You could also find that it's busy. I'm having to have a lot of conversations, having to make decisions. I'm talking to people about their money. I'm talking to people about how I can help them. I'm talking to people about deeper things. But whatever it is, Mercury in Scorpio to me also represents a profound amount of focus, right? Because Scorpio is not looking all over. Scorpio's water sign. It's fixed water. So it's reading the room and it's holding eye contact with you while it's doing it, right? It's like, yep, I see where you're going there. Yep, I see where you're going there. But it is peering into your soul. So this is a laser focused amount of conversation that may be available on your table. On the 30th, to end out the month, we've got Mars stepping into its retrograde in your sign. Slow down and let it go down just like that. And it's almost this idea of one step at a time, Gemini. Slow down. You don't have to. And likely at this point in the year, you realize you can't work. You can't move. You can't be the you that you drug on in here to 2021. Advancements, changes, fundamental alignments, and spiritual connection has been made at this time. So take the time, reassess your goals, reassess what you would desire, reassess how you're getting it done. And Gemini, reassess who is in your network. Who are you connecting with to help you do life, to inform you, to teach you, to guide you, right? This is your warrior planet. This is how you're going to get it done. And if you've got trash coming into your ear, weed your network. Weed your network out. Now, should you take advantage of the opportunity to try to push and force and get your way, and I'm just gonna ram through it, or I feel like I'm gonna flit and flutter like I used to, I can almost promise you that what this can look like for you, Gemini, is first of all a little nervous breakdown. You rule the nervous system, your nerves are gonna get fried. You've got to have some downtime, unless of course Mars is naturally retrograde in your birth chart. Then you might be out here living your best life in these streets. But also something else to consider is that anger, frustration, and what are you gonna do? Who are you gonna vent that at? Right? Are you taking on circumstances or situations that are stretching you and you're frustrated? Who are you going to take that out on? Ease. You're going to need to practice a little bit of ease, but I know you, Gemini, and I think you can absolutely, absolutely do this. All right, my beautiful friends, I hope you have a gorgeous month. Please let me know what this energy is looking like for you. How is this shaping up in your life? Let me know that in the comment section down below. I love you a ton, and I will see you in November. Bye, everybody.